Okay. Okay. Good afternoon to everyone. So I'm Harish. I'm working in product consulting at Spikra. So today we're going to demonstrate how we can manage the data in Zoho Analytics using the Deluge and using the REST APIs. We will see how to insert, update data, the rows in the analytics table, the Zogo products. Basically, we have the native options like in CRM, Desk, Zogo Books, Creator. So and also third parties like YouTube, Notions, YouTube Ad, and Instagram. So we have most of the third party apps. Also, we have the native option to integrate into the Zogo Analytics. But some of the clients will they have their own products. They will have their own parties to integrate that. We want the data, right? So the data to get the data to the analytics table. So how the process will be. So we will see that process, how we can insert the data to the analytics table using the REST APIs, and also we have the action item in Zoho Flow. We will see that also. Okay, so the agenda is okay. So first we will have the brief overview of what is Zoho Analytics, and then we will see how the Zoho Flow works with analytics, and then after that we will understand how the REST APIs help us to manage the tables. Finally, we will move to the live demo where the implementation and everything step by step we will see. Okay, okay. First, what is Zoho Analytics? So basically, the Zoho Analytics is actually very useful for business to improve their growth, where they making mistake. By seeing the reports itself, they will easily identify where they have to focus more, which segment they have to improve. So to take any better decisions, any big decisions for their company means in future they will see the reports. By reviewing the reports and dashboards, they can understand where they have to take a decision based on the reports. So imagine you are a retail company. So you have the across India, you have the stores across India. So instead of just checking the Excel files and you have the more records by managing, you can just uh, can open the dashboard and instantly you can just see the total sales and the top performance stores like monthly revenue. You can see that. So I will show you what all the features it has. So you can see that we can create a report like what the product sells the most, which state generate more revenue, which salespersons close the most deal. So using this KPI widget, we can able to do this process, and the interactive dashboard using filters and the bot chat, the basic chats, pie charts, and even we have the geographical maps also, and then the basic filters and pivot tables. So this is a sample. The basics dashboard will be, so each one is having a report. So these are the KPI reports widgets, and you can see this is a barcode, and even you can see the geographical map. So basically we can identify where the segment of clients are there, so which segment we have to improve more. So we can easily, by reviewing this dashboard, overall dashboard, it should be very useful for us to identify where we are making mistake. Instead of just checking the multiple stores separately, we user can just monitor all the important business metrics from one dashboard itself. This example, like imagine you are CEO of the company. Just every morning, instead of just opening the every 5 different reports, you can simply open the one dashboard, and just within a few seconds, you can see the total revenue, total orders, and what the customer growth and sales by religions. You can easily identify. Okay, so before moving this, first we have Zoho Analytics table. So we can create a table there, and then to insert or to update or to delete the row which is the data, we are going to do the process. So we have two types of two way to do that. So one is using Zoho Flow, another is doing the REST APIs using Using the REST API, we'll do in the Deluge platform, which is a custom function. Okay, we'll see one by one. So first we'll see the Zoho flow. It's provided built-in actions. You can see these actions called. So these are the built-in actions. So this is a Zoho flow platform. In that platform, we will have the Zoho Analytics inbuilt. So we can see the action item also. So we just drag and drop the. So if we want to drag and drop this row means create row means, if you just configure the Zoho Analytics means it will create a row in the table. Likewise, we can do these actions too. For example, imagine your company website as your contracts form. When a customer submit a form, and the website send the data to the just create a webhook here. So whenever the data is submitted, we will get the data from the webhook. So we can just add the that flow into the analytics table, create a row action, and insert the custom details into the analytics table. So this work well for simple one-time operation. So however, we need and process many records, apply the business logic or like performance bulk operations. So we see we will use Deluge for the REST APIs. So which produce much greater flexibility. So this will work for the business for one time, but we need more. We have more rows means we have to use Deluge. So based on the requirement, we have to change the concepts. We have to choose based on the requirement only. So this also having Deluge. So in Zoho Flow we have Deluge custom functions. So in that also we able to create a multiple row to do the process. Yeah, so this is the REST API, which is available in the to do the process, to do the operations in the analytics table. So this so example, if you want to just add the any row means, you can just add like example in new product array means you can just insert this using post. If the stock is quantity is changing means, so we can just update. If the product is discontinued or something means we can delete the product. So where we have making the mistake means, if you're doing this process continuously for more than 100 means, continuously we're just doing this process means, so after 100, that call will not allow you to create do the process in the analytics table. So basically in analytical table, uh, we have limitations. So continuously if you're just doing calling the more than 100 call means, so after the 100 calls it will ignore. So we have to make a limit with the 100 itself. So these are the limitations, not in the way in Zoho Flow or Zoho CRM and also. It was the limitations in Zoho Analytics. Yeah. So these are the workflow. So the trigger start a process. It was a schedule or it was in any trigger. The Deluge prepares the required data and send the REST APIs based request. Based on the operations, the API inserts and the updates or delete the data. Finally, the data stores in the analytical table. Okay, so we will see the live demonstration about. Let me move to the practical demo. So here we will create an analytical table. Then we will see the configure how to Zoho flow the actions and all, and then we will create a Deluge functions to also we can select which platform we can use, whether from CRM or Zoho flow. Even we can create a custom function Zoho creator also. We will decide that later. Okay, then we finally performs do the process. Okay, let me move on the demo. Yeah, okay. So you are seeing the Zoho Analytics. So these are the Zoho Analytics. So first we are just entering into the website means you will see the more workspace. So which is created by people only. So you can just select any workspace. So in there you have the folder wise data. So you can see first, I mentioned the CRM and which is Zoho ecosystem platform products like Creator, Deluge, Disk, CRM, Disk, Creator. Then we have some more products like that. So we can easily integrate that. So using the data source, we have the data source platform. So here we can just click. So even not like only the Zoho ecosystem, we have third parties too. I mentioned earlier, right? So we just checking this here on here. So you have the data, right? So by just clicking that, clicking the organization, you will be able to see the model wise, the report wise, the audit log also. So you can see here the model wise it was showing. So I'm just just clicking what all data I need. I'm just clicking, so we able to select. It will just sync with the analytics table. So in the webinar workspace, this will create a tables based on this. I will also make it often time to sync with it. So even I can create the hourly hours, hourly 1 hour. So for 1 hour it will sync automatically. So I'm just clicking the create, it will just do the process. So based on the data I can create a report, or based on that requirement I can just create. But if I did not have any data means I have to create by manually. The table I have to create, then I have to get the data from the party, then I have to insert or update delete the process. I have to do the operations. Okay, first, so to creating the table, so basically it has some native options like just creating a sample columns and tables. Here you can just create a table like a products distribution like this. So after saving, so it was asking where to save. Likewise you can also edit the design. So you can able to edit the column wise, which column and which data it want, whether it was numerical or it wants uh, decimal, date wise or month or string wise. We have to edit using the edit design. So I created before this table. So you can see here. So order data, so what this table is denote is, so this is like a product with a distribution also. It's a company doing the product, they are having the product, they're distributing to the state wise. They're distributing with state and city, date, order, quantity. So based on that I am also configure the data types too. So for that order date I have just configured the date. So quantity is post number, which is number. For amount, total amount and also it will come under the decimal only. So after just creating the table. Okay, so just closing this one. Okay, so we have to just insert the data here. Okay, so before going for REST API, we can just check with Zoho Flow here. So once you just open the Zoho Flow, you will just create a Zoho Flow here. So I'm just creating here the product distribution. I'm just creating. So it was asking which, like webhook or the app based, which is from any platform. This is schedule. So based on the schedule, it will get the data and will do the process. Or using webhook means based on the trigger, it will have the data whenever the trigger is happening. This will work. So now I will just do with scheduling. It was asking. I will just do it daily and play. Done. So basically I got the scheduling details. So I'm just searching here analytics. So now you can see the create row. So I'm just drag and drop here. It was asking which workspace it was. Workspace I'm mentioning it was which workspace I will select, then in which table you want to do. So in previous we created the table, right? So the product, I'm just clicking that. Okay, so after selecting the table, I can see the what are all the data sheet want. So I'm just mentioning simply, uh, order is like one, and product code. Product code also same. It's some other. Just mentioning here ABC. Product name is also ABC. Category, distributions. So base like ABC. So state, cities. We have so many attributes are here. So currently I'm just giving these data only. So I'm just giving 10. Now I'm just testing whether it was working well or not. So you can see here it was just done done its process. Yeah, now we can see, so what data we given, it was came here. So the product code, the order ID, product code. So what I mentioned in that, I'm just testing only, it was came here. So if I'm just uh, I'm just owning the flow means, when I'm just making the flow is active means, it will trigger based on the time what I mentioned, and it will do the process. The data I'm given is manually, but I can just get the data, and I able to give with the variable dynamically, it will change and it will do the process. So this process will work for the one execution only. So this row, this action code will work for one time. So here there is no any loop model, so it will work for one action. Webhook means it will be very useful for that kind of requirement, but for multiple times, multiple rows are there to do the process, we have to use Deluge only. So for that we have built-in custom functions are there. So we can create a custom functions here, and we can connect using that also. So not only in Zoho Flow we can do this process. We can create in creator, Zoho creator or Zoho CRM. Likewise also we able to create a custom function. Then we can connect connection. We have to connect the connection with the Zoho Analytics to CRM each platform. Then we can do the process also. Before that, okay, so first we will make it empty again here. Just making delete all the row. Yeah, truncate. Okay, now we will see how we're going to do this with the REST APIs. So REST API. Okay, so now I will explain. So now you can see the Zoho Analytics REST APIs. So how to using these APIs only we able to add the row, update the row, delete the row. Even we can create a table. Now we just created manually, but you can see here is a bulk API, the modeling API, which will have the API to create a table. So using this link, using this URL, we able to create. So whenever we just came here, we can select this spot. So you can have to see this is post. Then it will be create. It will do the process. We can select the Deluge here, and we can see how the process where we can do with Deluge. So now you can see using the invoke URL, it was the URL we have seen, right? So it was here. So based on the workspace and the table, we are just given this data, it's enough. It will create a table, what the column, based on the column and the data types too. Okay, now move to the our topic. So data row. the adding data row. So here we can also select directly here. Not even we can see without seeing itself, we can just do the process. So now you can see the invoke URL how they given this process. We just copy paste this row is enough. You can see here I just created one function before itself for wasting without wasting our time. We'll focus on the function. So you can see the REST APIs here, right? Just forget the others code, just focus on this code. Okay, so you can see the REST APIs what they mentioned here. So you can see the REST API v2 workspace. So I'm just copying that, and also the work ID, the workspace ID. We have to get the workspace ID and the view. The view is denotes here the table. Yeah, the table view ID. So then row. See, so this is what's the syntax. So the row, the workspace ID and the view ID. You have to get this. You can just get the ID. You can directly from the URL itself. So you can see here the workspace ID. This was the workspace ID and this was the view ID. So we can just cut copy the data to here. So I just copy paste here. The type is post. The post means I'm going to insert this and the header. Okay, now we will just see the code one by one how the process work. This is a function for manually. I'm just given the argument for string manner. So this is for the JSON format. So I will give the JSON format to this code. This code will make the JSON format. It will get the data by record. It will get the data and then it will do the process. You can see this. It will just make the it was one ID means it will align to this particular attributes and it will do the process. And then it will do the and then it will add the REST APIs using that the the parameter the created the row map, right? So the map will be configured to the prompts. That prompts will be added in this plus options, so that will added as a record in the Zoho Analytics table. So we'll see one by one first. So these are the basics of function. Then just creating the data to store the data analytics list. I'm just creating initially I'm just creating the variable, then header. So basically if you want to do the process, the org ID is very important. We have to get the org ID of the analytical table, Zoho Analytical. We have to get the org ID, then the Zoho flow. Sorry. So then using the loop only we will do this process. Okay, initially what I done is, okay, so this is a sample data I'm going to give as an argument. So you can see here the flag. So I'm just mentioned this was one record and this was one record. So initially I'm just given this is a flag n and this is a flag n. So flag n denotes insertion, flag u denotes. So you can see the flag u which denotes to update and flag y denotes delete. So based on this flag I will make the decision that this I have to insertion, this I have to insert the URL, and based on the u I have to update. Based on that I will update the process, and for y I have to update the process. So based on the flag I'm just separate the invoke URL in single function itself. So you can see the order ID. So here the order ID is a unique ID. So I'm just getting the variable element of that. I'm getting the value of the raw data. I'm just getting the value of the ID. I'm just checking before doing the process. Then yeah, I'm just getting the basic thing for skipping the errors. Then I'm just making the row like this is a syntax of that ID from the Zoho Analytics table, and this is the value of that. So I'm just making like this in the row map. I'm just I have to configure the configure map, and I will make the row into here, the column by column the row. So these are the syntax we have to follow. Then we have to for encryptions we have to do this function. We have to call this function After the prompt, we have to get into the prompt. The prompt we have to configure here the using the in URL. So please check this com. So this is so this will change based on the Zoho account license. So if for Indian we have IN, for US we have com, for Europe we will have ER. Likewise it will change. So check this once. Otherwise uh, this will not allow you to insert the data. And the header we are initially seeing that, right? So the header also we have to configure here. Then the connection we have to create manually the Zoho in Zoho CRM or Zoho creator, wherever we have to create one connection based on the scopes. We have to just create the scopes and they have to create a connection and just copying this connection name to here. After that this will work. So likewise also I'm just done this for the update for updating the process. Same this, but the only one is I will change as put. There will be post, but here will be put type. For y, I will not give the data here. I will just select the data and will delete. So using the or which order ID, I'm just deleting the process only. I'm not going to update or insert. So I need only the order ID only. No any other data to update that. Yeah. So these are the types I'm just created. Now we will see how this function will work. So here in this table it was totally empty now. Okay, we'll also check whether the 100 after the 100 how this will work. So currently I'm having the JSON data. So I will check how many records I have. So you can see I having 110. So 110, just copy pasting the data. So based on the argument I'm just giving the parameter. So I'm just inserting data. So which will take some times, which will take some seconds to do the process. We will also check here simultaneously. So now the process is actually inserting and doing these operations. If you're just refreshing here, we able to see the records. See, 67, 65. Why 67 now actually decreased means it will be deleted. Some records will be deleted, some records will be updated. So the given parameter is totally not only insertion. It will have so many operations that it will not only insertion will come for 100. It will come 10 insertion, 10 updation, 5 deletion, like will come. So based on that operation only it will do. So you can see the data has actually occurred clearly. Okay, why these data are not working? You can see exactly the 10 record. The 10 record only will not work because the 100 record will continuously, if you're just calling the operations of the Zoho article table, means it will work. After that 100 call, it will start to ignore. It will skip the process, skip the call. That call will not allow you to do the process, do the operations in the Zoho analytical table. So only it was throwing the error here. So for that verification, I will have one data. So first we are just deleting all the row here. Okay, so I will refresh again. So I'm having the data. So here you can see I'm having 500 data. So which will have first 100 is only insertion. First 100 is having only flag game. Then I'm having next it to start from 200 only, to start from updation and deletion. So first 200 it has only insertion. So we'll check how much process, how much data will insert simultaneously. It was not based on the number of columns. If you have more columns, it will take more time. That's not, it was not like that. Even it has a 2 column, even it has a 50 column, it will work only 100 per calls. So I'm just mentioning here, even in Zoho website there will be we have they will not actually mention that. So I'm just executing here. So you can see I'm just refreshing. 22, 58, 61. You can see the data here. 61, 22 here, and then 101. Okay, now you can see I'm refreshing again and again. It was not doing any operations here. This means no any actions are occurring here. So again I'm just going here, I'm just checking. So what is the process I done. So you can see the first 100 was successfully inserted. After that 100 calls, it was start to ignore. So this was the 100 call. So you can see here 101. Sorry, we'll see. So the data are actually incorrect. I will make it sorting manner. Then I will check which is the last ID, 1101. So you can also see the 1101 is the last ID, which means it was getting the positive. After that only it was start to ignore the calls. So we can easily now it is easily you know that. So only the 100, sometimes it will come 100, sometimes it will come 101, but we will have to stop with the 100 itself. So we have to give some time. So please comment some if you have any idea to avoid this. Like I have one option, like we can we can do this process for 100 records. After that we can make some delay for 1 minute or for a few seconds. Then again if you do this process means this will work. This will just insert the 100 record, 100 actions, 100 calls then if you're just doing this process means we able to do this. If you are not, without delay we are just inserting the 1,000 or 500 records continuously, it will not work. If you having any the delay in the 100, then again the 100 records, then delay we have to make it some delay, then 100. Likewise we able to easily do the process. So using this we can create a custom. So now you can see the chart view, my chart view. So I will just create a chart view. It was asking which table you want to create. So I'm just creating the category wise, and then so this was it was created, right? So state wise, okay, it's enough now. We'll make it as a demo here. So you can see the graph, right? So you're able to see clearly what I'm doing now. So also I'm just mentioning the which product wise I'm asking, make it count. Okay, so this is enough. We'll have the where we are getting more amount, total amount. We able to do in pie chart also. We're just clicking save here. Yeah, same. Okay, demo one, view model. We able to see the pie chart. So how much the data we have in the raw data, we able to make it visually. We can know where you're making mistake or we can easily visually know which segment is more, which segment is less. So based on that we can able to take a decision. So even we have selection option here, so based on that we can decrease the option. We can easily compare with two segment only, so we can able to do the process, right? Webinar. See, this is a quantity and category based on state wise. So this is our created product based only. I'm just created this demo. Previously, I'm just created this. So you can clearly see the master date, the state wise and the quantity and category based data. So we able to compare the data very clearly. We can also change the visuals based on our requirement or based on our checking. We can just change clearly. So these are the reports. After that, after creating these reports, we can just create on dashboard. So also I will share one example of dashboard. So yeah, so we can create like dashboard like this. So we can using the KPI widget, right? So I just told yearly. So we can create like this, and the barcode, bar chart, and then the other reports too. We can make it one all in one, all reports in one dashboard itself. That will make you to analyze the overall view of that overall business, what is very important. Also be able to interact with the dashboards too. So in which need you want currently, based on this be able to, if you want more edit means, you can just configure this. Based on that we able to do this process. Okay, so we'll go on to the process. So whether it's a sales data, whether it's a sales data or support ticket, the inventory or the upsell records, any other business also. So the same approach can be used for keeping the Zoho analytical table to synchronized automatically. Once data is automatically in the analytical table means, so we can easily create a report and the dashboards becomes much easier. So then thank you for the sections of this. If you want to contact us, please support this.